Tom Reed.
Remember,
Everybody
stay
knows
back,
that.
okay, please? I'm sorry.
So my name's Tom Reed, and of course I'm
Tom
talking
Reed.
to Becky. Becky, you know that. Now, is it Rebecca or Rebecca?
I like
At
you
the
calling
time
me Rebecca.
You do?
You're the only one that calls me that, and I kind of like it.
Okay, because nobody ever knows who I'm talking about.
Right.
So they refer to you as Becky?
Becky, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Evidently, there's another Becky around here as well.
Yes.
Okay. So, you know, we went through you getting your mail, and I know you're appreciative of it, but
So
today I want to ask you, it's kind of surprising to you that there are people out there that care?
In some ways, yes.
Okay. All right.
I know they're out there, but I don't experience them a whole lot. So it's beautiful to have it directed towards me.
Okay. Now, I get a lot of people that think that when I give you money, you're going to use it for drugs, and I'm not naive enough to think that some of the money doesn't go for that, but
Right.
some of the money goes for other things, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. And at the very worst scenario, the money you were given, that'd be that many less days you'd be working the street, right?
For a fact, yes.
It's a fact.
Yes.
Okay. So, with regard to addiction, you've been addicted to heroin how long now?
20 years?
Have you really?
Yeah.
And what keeps you from being, like, super concerned about this fentanyl stuff?
Well, it's a very obvious difference in the look, and the taste, and overall, very different drug. You notice just by a glance what it is, if it is or it isn't. So me personally, I choose to avoid it at all costs.
But you're saying that you could tell if there was fentanyl in your heroin?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
And you could tell by looking at it?
For sure.
Is that because of your experience?
I suppose, but any daily user with some amount of time using would know the difference. It's a matter of they care or not. Not that they don't know, it's that they don't care.
Really? That's interesting. It's
Absolutely.
that noticeable.
Oh yeah.
Even
one
like
is tan and one is pure white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so take for an example, I know this guy that died here a couple weeks ago that was in your car.
Yeah.
Was that fentanyl, heroin, or nobody knows?
It was a fentanyl mix, but it was stomped on really a lot. So it was very surprising just by the small amount that he did and the poor quality of product. I was floored that it was.
He could have had something else going on.
I believe so. He was an older gentleman, and I'm no medical, person or anything close to that, but I do know that there's a certain routine when it comes to overdosing, and he just didn't really fit any of the usual signs,
Okay.
in my experience opinion at all.
Do you think if you saw the dose that he had that night, you would have recognized something was wrong with it?
I know the difference between too much and not enough. I've never overdosed in my whole entire addiction, never once. And that's like unheard of.
But I mean, you just said that an experienced heroin user would notice the difference. Why didn't he notice the difference?
I do believe that he did notice the difference. I do believe that it's not a matter of not knowing the difference, it's a matter of caring or understanding the difference, maybe.
Okay. So would you say it's possible that he was careless?
Very.
Okay. Whatever happened with that deal? Did it just kind of go away?
Yeah, I mean, they've never came back, pretty much. I mean, I've had, seen them in day-to-day passing,
Oh, okay. So it just kind of ended?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in the 20 years you've been addicted to heroin, how many people would you say that you knew, even if it was casually, that died of a heroin overdose?
Well, the most important and rememberable is my husband.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yes.
Where did
Kevin
that happen?
Gambard. In our living room up in Caseville, Michigan.
Cheeseburger Festival.
Cheeseburger Festival. Shandy Days.
So you were living up there.
Yeah, that's where his mother and his family is.
And what do you think were the circumstances behind that?
I think it was just he was out of control and greedy.
Out of control and greedy?
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
12 years ago.
Oh, so you were a heroin addict then as well?
Yes, it was. I mean, for the first 12, 13 years of my addiction, I only snorted it, and it was maximum. If I did 3 packs a day, I was partying.
Okay.
And I never had tried any crack cocaine or anything until the day I came out here. So me and my husband never even experienced crack at all. So we had a couple pack a day habit, and he was a good provider. He was a good husband, a good father, but he was just careless. He wasn't. It's hard to believe that somebody so smart can be so stupid.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know,
but careless doesn't have anything to do with how smart you are.
It's about not accepting that, you know, hey, dumbass, you did 3 packs last time and you died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thank God I was there to play God and save you, you know?
Speaking of that.
Yeah.
I talked to another lady I interviewed. I don't know if you look at who I interview when you scroll through.
Of course.
And you saved a lady's life that I interviewed.
Allison.
Yeah. She didn't really want to talk about it at the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, she was gone.
Really?
Gone.
Now, would that have
very
been
scared.
too much heroin or fentanyl and heroin? Or?
She did the smallest amount. I mean, I don't expect anybody to know the terminology, but it's called a rinse. It's when you prepare your heroin, it's got to have a piece of cotton acting as a filter to be able to draw it up in your syringe. So when you don't have any, you know, drugs and you feel like shit, there's a way of kind of taking the edge off, I guess you could say. Back up, please. And it's referred to as a rinse, and it's where you just, you know, push the dope out of the used cotton from, you know, prior uses, and hopefully it'll be enough dope left in that from times before that you'd be able to knock that chill off, you know, and get right enough to be able to go get what you need to get straight, you know. But she had just did a rinse, and I couldn't. I mean, I was sitting there getting my makeup on to go to work, and her and another friend walked up together, and he was doing his pack of dope, and she was asked him for his rinse, which was like nothing, like water damn near. And so he does his, and she shot her rinse, and I was sitting there just doing my own thing like usual, and I see her fucking falling all over the place, and I'm like, hey, stupid, sit down, you know, like. And then I realized that stupid isn't responding, you know, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is really happening, you know. And so I, luckily, after that situation with her car, Covenant House, thank them, gave me a couple Narcans, and I had them in my purse, thank God. And so once I realized that it was as serious as it really was, I gave her a Narcan, no response, no help. I gave her another Narcan, still no help. My phone was across the block, charging at a friend's. I ran across the street, called 911, ran back, and when I got back, the guy that gave her the dope was gone, of course. All her stuff was gone. He just pretty much collected whatever he wanted from her and fled. and left me to deal with it, which was probably, say, a best situation, because people usually just are a hindrance, get in the way. If everybody's a doctor out here, everybody knows the right way, but nobody knows, some are just lucky and some are not. So I was taking instructions from the 911 operator, which was a joke, and I pretty much just did what I knew to do from times before in the situation. And so while the ambulance took forever and ever to get here, it seemed like fucking 5 years to get here, and she's just not really, I was giving her mouth to mouth and CPR, and it was just so serious and so sad, and I was just really scared. It just kind of floods you back with those memories of, that morning my husband was found, and that's hard. But yeah, I mean, I'd save anybody if I had a chance,
Yeah, I believe you would.
That man that died in my car, he was a good friend of mine. I liked him. He was never anything but nice to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for anybody who thinks anything ill, it's the farthest thing from that.
Okay.
I would do it for anybody. And I would hope, I pray that anybody would do it for me if I needed.
Yeah.
But thank God, knock on wood, I have not needed as of yet, and I hope I never do.
Now that's the second time you said "thank God." Are you just saying that as
No, I'm.
Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely. Very much.
Do you believe in salvation, then, heaven and hell?
I believe in. I have my own belief about it, but yeah, I believe that there's a heaven and a hell.
Where do you think you're going?
This sounds crazy, but I don't know. I just don't know. I think, I'm a good person, but I just don't know. If the rules are really the rules, which would be, if he does expect us to live, with the 10 Commandments on our every day, every minute of every day, from birth to death, that would be unrealistic. That would be.
But that's why Jesus.
A setup for failure.
That's why Jesus died, because he knew you were going to do stuff like that.
Why he would have to die for stuff like that? Like, what does that mean? Why? Why does somebody have to die for anything? It just makes no sense. Why would Jesus have to do that? Why would that be the rule?
I know. I didn't make up the rules.
It makes no sense. And you know what else makes no sense to me, Tom, in the world?
Yeah.
All this, we pray on our knees, and we worship, and we build temples, and we put our life in Jesus' hands, and we just, our lives revolve around Jesus more people than people that don't,
Yeah.
I'm sure that more people believe than people that don't believe,
Right.
So majority of the world has some sort of, whatever it is, whatever you believe in, what you believe in any religion is a higher power. And I believe that we give the higher power so much trust and faith and praise. But, the only thing that puzzles me and makes me question my faith is if God and Jesus or whoever did what had to be done to make us where we're at today, and give us life, give us everything we have, air, eyes, skin, so faith. So if this is all true and this is all man, is just a creation of God, and if he's so capable of doing everything that we give him credit for doing, how is he not able to prevent babies being molested and babies being beat and neglected and starved to death? And just, I'm speaking about minors, babies, people, seniors, people that cannot help themselves, you know. They can't go out there and get a job to put food in their mouth. People that can't stand up to their abuser or their molester and, you know, stop it from happening. Innocent children every day at this very second time. There's a little girl getting molested. There's a child getting beat. Why don't he stop that?
Okay.
He's so powerful. He turns water into wine. I mean, he can walk on water. He makes human beings. Why can't he just stop?
I don't know.
And then, you know, that's a sin by itself. It's just questioning him. But how can we not question him when what's going on around us is in our face every day? I just don't understand it. How can we not question?
I understand that.
If people say everything happens for a reason, like if I hear one more person tell me that Susie's getting molested right now by, you know, Uncle Chester because God has a plan and everything happens for a reason, I think I'm just gonna fucking faint because it's the stupidest answer I've ever gotten in my life. Well, why don't you go tell, you know, Jimmy, who's literally gonna die overnight because he hasn't had food in his mouth in a month. You know, like, why are these babies, you know, fuck the adults. Like, the adults, we make our own, we can stop, we have the power to make things what we want them. I'm here because of what I did and what I choose. But for a baby to be, if I had a baby here with me being forced to live this life, how fair is that? Why would God allow Becky to have children knowing that Becky's a fucked up mother and my children are paying for it every day? Why would he allow that? And then good people that want children more than air itself are unable to have kids, but Becky can have kids that she's not going to take care of. What is wrong with this picture? It just makes me...
Okay, well,
my face